Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. And in today's video there is a new season, right? And the season doesn't start unless you guys watch the top teams videos that we do make before every cup start. But 2 cups already started and I'm kind of behind because I was working on the deep dive IV video for the Noctowl. Make sure to go and watch it. And I got lots of DMs. Yasser, where is the top teams video? Yasser, where is my team? What team am I going to be using? And I do appreciate all the love. Thank you so much to all the people who reminded me that I still need to do some extra work, which I don't mind, since like I've been getting like lots of nice and amazing comments from people who used the teams and had success and get to legend with those teams for the first time. I think more than 20 people sent me DMs like with kind words like thank you Yasser for the teams you used to provide, and I get legend for the first time. And to be honest, that was like, I would say like my best achievement last season is helping 20 more people to get legend for the first time, plus making videos that would make anyone's team building much easier. So let's talking more what? Okay, never mind. let's move to the top teams, the top teams and the Great League Remix. Great League Remix is basically open Great League with like used to be 10 bans, but this time it's more. Last time they the first time they made it 10 bans, we complained that 10 bans weren't enough, and basically everyone was playing Bastion or Double Charm, and then they made it 15, and then we complained that 15 isn't enough, and then they made it to 20. So thank you so much Niantic for listening. I have to say it. Yo, it's a 20, right? I don't want to be like, oh, thank you for providing 20 bans and they ended up not being 20. Okay, 5 by 4, that's a 20. So good Pokemons, basically the most used Pokemons in the Open Great League were banned, which make the another Pokemons to be broken, because you know every time you ban a broken Pokemon, another broken Pokemon will appear. And I divided them into leads, safe swap, generalist. What's a generalist? A generalist is usually like a Pokemon that's basically good everywhere. What does that mean? Those generalists are good in the swap, in the lead, or in the back. Leads are Pokemon that are good at getting shields down, like Lapras. Yes, Lapras don't even get shields. Well, Lapras is a safe swap. Why I do have it in the lead? That's a good question. Okay, what's the answer? I don't know. I didn't have a space in the safe swap. It's okay. Before someone asks what's a safe swaps. Safe swaps are Pokemon to use as a safe swap, either in an ABB format where you're trying to bait out what counters your backline, or it's just a safe Pokemon like Noctowl, like like Mantine. Okay, good one, yes, it worked for once. What's this Pokemon? Like Mandibuzz, yes, Mandibuzz. Abomasnow is a good safe swap. Togedemaru is a good safe swap. Diggersby is a good safe swap as long as your moveset is flexible, like Quick Attack is better than Mudshot, maybe in the safe swap, or you just need Hyper Beam instead of EQ. Tropius is a good safe swap if you have 2 grasses and you are trying to bait out the counters. Mew is a solid safe swap. And the leads, I think my favorite lead used to be always Dragalge, but Dragalge isn't as great because they buffed a Pokemon. They gave us a Pokemon that was recently buffed with 2 buffs. 1, they gave it Psychic Fang. 2, they gave us the Shadow version, which is the ideal good Pokemon. Like Steelix doesn't do enough damage, and always like just to stall the game for no reason because you're not doing enough damage to knock out the opponent. And then we get the Shadow Steelix, which is a straight upgrade. It's like the difference between Snorlax and Shadow Snorlax, Hypno and Shadow Hypno. So yeah, Steelix is by far the best Pokemon. Nothing is even close. Surfetch is a good Pokemon that can get shields down. Castform, one of my favorites. Pidgeot is a good lead because in the neutral matchups, it wins the lead versus everything because you're just gonna debuff their fast move again and again until you get to the point where their fast move and charge move will do nothing. Aurorus, which is a Pokemon that was recently buffed by they gave it the new rock move that they gave it to Boldor Pokemon. Was Meteor Beam, I think, then the name of the move, that or something like this. The generalists are like the Pokemons that are good everywhere. Lead, swap in the back. Coffin, Guzzlord, Araquanid, Toxapex, Cresselia, and Steelix. And I don't think I need to talk about those Pokemons because they're just too bulky and too damn good. Like, they just hit good for good amount of energy damage on their charge move, and they have a decent fast move pressure. Pokemons like honorable mention to Pokemons that are somehow meta, but you know, like no one gives them enough attention. Obstagoon. Okay, yeah, so people use Obstagoon. Obstagoon, Vigoroth, Wigglytuff, and Meganium. They are good, but I wouldn't say as those. But they are definitely better than the anti-meta Pokemons. Now let's move to the anti-meta Pokemons and talk about them. Magcargo is probably one of my favorite anti-meta Pokemons that can be used in the Great League Remix, and probably I will be using Magcargo today because it's just completely wall Noctowl. You know what? I'm gonna use it in Open Great League for those Noctowl Stunfisk core. Gliscor, a Pokemon that was recently buffed because they buffed Wing Attack and they made it better. It's a Vine clone. Sandslash is a spicy Pokemon. Yes, it's a steel that's bulky, but it has too many weaknesses. Gramble, the hardest hitting fast move Pokemon in the entire game. Shadow Machamp, close to Gramble, but Charm is a better typing than fighting. Shadow Drapion is just a busted Pokemon, regardless of the matchups. It can always get something with Energy Lead. Galvantula, it's an RPS Pokemon, and with the good scenario, like Galvantula can just straight snowball the entire game because you're gonna debuff them, and then you debuff the second Pokemon, then you make them useless, and then they make them regret playing the Pokemon, the game, then they will go on Twitter and tag Niantic and rage tweet because they buffed the Pokemon on an unnecessary buff. Zwirus used to be a good meta Pokemon, but now with the Steelix and Guzzlord around, it's just very underwhelming. Same for Hakmo. Hakmo, I would say, is the best anti-meta dragon. Whiscash is just like, you know, whenever you ban a Swampert, Whiscash has just become the instead of place a Swampert in the meta. Laurentiis is another version of Sirfetch'd. Like, it's a Sirfetch'd that's spammier slightly, the same also to fail as said, similar to Sirfetch'd, but doesn't have fast move pressure. But it's a good Pokemon. Dragalge, one of my favorites. The problem with Dragalge this season is that Guzzlord has a better moveset, plus both lose to Steelix. Shadowvic, I'm not gonna talk about it because I don't like it. And Shadow Kanto Ninetale, probably the best fire Pokemon because people are using Marowak less and less, and Talon, and this thing just has a slight more bulk than most of them, and it's always end up being the favorable pick. Now moving to the top teams in this cup, and the best team according to Mr. PvPoke, or the website PvPoke, Mr. Matt, is Pelipper, Steelix, Guzzlord. Those are the best three Pokemons in the entire cup. If you run them, you can literally run them in any order, safe swap any of them, and you will still get a solid team that's basically the top team on PvPoke. I love this team. I think this team is very decent. It's probably the best. Like, I don't think anything is even close to be as good. Maybe the second team is going to be like somewhat close to be as good, but not as good as this one. The second team I have here is Whiscash as the straight Steelix answer, Cresselia as the Pelipper answer, and Steelix as like the best Pokemon in this cup. This is also another team. You can go even bulkier and choose Regirock instead of the Whiscash and have a team that's ABB, weak to Whiscash, but in this team you need the Grassnut Cresselia because the Grassnut Cresselia is a straight answer to Whiscash and probably can beat Whiscash even down a shield because the Grassnut almost one-shot. So these are the teams that PvPoke appreciate the most. From my favorite, like what do I favor? I mean, this is probably like used to be my favorite team, and Smash King's team as well, because we both almost play the same teams. He plays them at higher MMR, so technically if you want to learn the team, you can also go and watch the Smash King. So cast form with one of those flyers. Okay, you choose one, doesn't matter which one. Like Mandy can beat Noctowl, but Noctowl beat everything else. And with the Steelix, we used to run this team with the Dragalge, but now Steelix is just a straight upgrade. Now to the Gligar fans, I have a team that it's actually solid. And although this being the best anti-ice Pokemon, the best ice that beats all the ice because it has a move that one-shot all the ice. With two ice Pokemon, with two ground flyer Pokemon that take 4 times super effective. Sorry, put time super effective from ice. So technically it's an ABB team that lose the back line to the ice, but you have to beat the ice. Gliscor isn't that bad versus the ice. Technically, if you swap first, you can still get to 2 Night Slashes, which is good enough to get the shields down. So these are some solid teams. Now moving into like another options that people can use, and I like this team. Wowtastics, one of the Papegas in the Twitch chat on my live stream, where I stream my battles at twitch.tv/YasserElite. He mentioned this team as a solid team. I don't know whether he mentioned it or he was just three solid Pokemons. Toxapex with Double Wall and Diggersby. What's the concept behind this team? Toxapex just a straight beat Pelipper. And here, two backlines that can beat Steelix, and both are solid enough and decent enough to beat most of the stuff in the meta. The team kind of struggle versus Noctowl, but if you land, like if you have a double versus Noctowl, make sure you either run, like in the swap, you need Payback in the lead, you need Wild Charge, okay? So to beat the Noctowl, you need to land the Payback, or you need Payback, or you need to land the big move. So be aware of shielding and baiting scenarios. Let's move into another team. My favorite Season 9 team, which was this team where I used it, I think, for a couple sets. It used to be good, decent, but the problem with this team, it doesn't work at high MMR because one Dragalge can beat the entire team. It's a decent team, I like it, but again, whenever I climb high, it doesn't work. Why? It lacks the bulk. Easy. A team that deserved mention was a team that was popularized by Mr. FP Sticks, Taylor. He used to run Tropius, Regirock, Registeel. Registeel is no longer eligible for this cup, but Steelix is a solid replacement for Registeel. It's a solid team, has like million stat product, and it's one of the best. If you have those three and you want to try them, give it a try. Another team that I mentioned last time we had Great League Remix, is that Triple Normal. Triple Normal is too decent, and now it's even better if you have Double. Do I have Double? No, I don't. Why? Because it spawned literally for 2 days 1 year ago, and that's it. Some people reported to me that it spawned after the special raids, after the community day, or like the Hoopa raids. So if you need Wooloo, you need to do those events. Make sure to do it, because like this Double Wall Pokemon is a straight upgrade to Vigoroth. It's a much better version of Vigoroth because it has a decent second charge move, and it's slightly bulkier. The third Pokemon is up to you. You can literally choose any of these. If you feel like you're weak to Noctowl, you can run Quick Attack, this thing, or you can just run Vigoroth. So a spicy team I would recommend is this one. Two normal Pokemon to beat Steelix in the back, and something electric that loses to Steelix in the lead. Togedemaru is good because it's one of very few Pokemons that just completely shut down Noctowl. It's a decent Pokemon, but the problem with this is that if you bait and they don't shield, you might lose the game. A team that deserves mentioning, teams from, and now moving into teams that were good, like in the last Open Great League Remix. A team that was popularized by Fergster, my teammate. You guys know him, amazing YouTuber, and he's a Twitch streamer, twitch.tv/Fergster. He used to run those three, and those three are literally his favorite three Pokemons in the Great League: Escav, Shadow Charizard, his signature Pokemon, and Whiscash. So what's the concept? There is no concept. It's literally his favorite three Pokemons, and he climbed very high. I remember he hit top 10 with this team. So is it a solid team? Yes, it is. It's a frail team. Yes, it is a very frail team. Usually one mistake will end up you losing the game. So if you don't want to, if you like it and you don't want to use it, just watch his live stream and he will play it for you. I'm sure he will play it on stream. A team that I wanted to mention, but it needs a slight adjustment. A team that was popularized by J. Robin Stack. He used to play Machamp double flyers, and everyone used to hate that team because no one usually had two answers to the flyers. Because people always prepared for one flyer. He had two. The problem with this team is that it's very weak, kind of, to Noctowl. So, to run this team, I recommend using Steelix over one of the flyers. You can keep one. So, if you hate Noctowl and you see it a lot in your team, in your like games, I recommend this team, the one that was popularized by Magic Mason. He loves double. He loves Shadow Lapras and Shadow Machamp. I think he used them literally in every league where he plays. So Shadow Lapras, Shadow Machamp are like just his favorite go-to core, I guess, with the Frostlass, because Frostlass is always one of the best Pokemons in every cup where like you can use Frostlass. Now moving to the Baby Rage, I play Spice by Aragon's my thing. Aragon used to play Dragonite Double Steel. Registeel is no longer exist, but now you can use the Steelix instead. So this is a solid team that hits hard. Like, if Dragonite gets a good lead, good luck beating that thing. Another team, one of my locals used to play on the Gimmicks Cup. It was basically the Pepper Mystics team in Open Great League, where he used to run Altaria, Shadowvik, Shadow Machamp. But since you can't use Altaria, so Noctowl is a decent replacement for that. And I believe that's the end of the video. It is actually the end of the video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If you like the content, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you have any comment, leave in the comments section below and I will be glad to answer it. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and thank you so much for everyone for the kind words. Those people who sent me DMs on Twitch, on Twitter, on Discord, I read all of them. And yeah, good luck on your new season and hope you enjoy the content and learn from it as well. See you in the next video.